and treaty lands of the Haudenosaunee and Anishinaabe peoples and a meeting place for many indigenous peoples, and Tiohtià:ke Munyang on unceded Kanien'kehá:ka and Anishinaabe lands. I want to offer my gratitude to the peoples who have co-created and cared for these places over millennia, and whose land it will always be. Introduction. 2 stories or theories about extinction. A wave of erasures is moving across Earth, shattering worlds in its wake. It cuts through what Western science calls species and life, but also through fragile membranes of kinship and thick histories that draw together lands, waters, airs, and energy in the collaborative work of thriving. Driven by relentless rhythms of consumption, occupation, extraction, and violence, this rupture unfolds unevenly, forcing open the seams of some worlds as it reinforces the borders of others. How can this phenomenon be grasped, explained, and responded to? According to the dominant story or theory promoted by Western scientists and policymakers, these changes mark the start of Earth's 6th mass extinction event, pointing to a rapid decrease in species and their populations over the past few decades. These thinkers predict that more than 3/4 of existing life forms may be destroyed within as little as 3 centuries. Yet, despite its devastating effects and future implications, most Western scientists view the 6th mass extinction as the unintended consequence of desirable activities intended to improve human life, or achieve what they regard as progress. As a result, they call for strategies for managing destruction and preserving life forms for the use and benefit of humans, making it possible to sustain existing global, political, economic, social, and ecological orders. This approach, conservation, has inspired a global movement, harnessing the attention, resources, and influence of states, international organizations, NGOs, and millions of citizens, especially in the global north. Since the late 1980s, conservation has focused on the need to protect biodiversity, or the variety of life forms and the functions they play within ecosystems, as a stock of resources for human use, benefit, and enjoyment. Reflecting the imperatives of international politics, conservation is often presented as an ultimatum or a zero-sum game. If it is not immediately and unreservedly adopted, expanded, and intensified, many scientists warn, we may be left to inhabit a planet stripped of its most precious treasure, life. Humans are not immune to this threat. Indeed, emerging discourses on human extinction intensify fear and urgency, framing conservation as the only possible response, and as a now or never bid to protect the survival of humanity. In so doing, these discourses mask the profound forms of violence on which conservation is based, including colonialism, racism and white supremacy, extractive capitalism, anthropocentrism, heteronormativity, and ableism. Indeed, one of the main aims of this book is to reveal that extinction and conservation are manifestations of these global structures of interlocking, mutually magnifying violence. To uncritically pursue increasingly ambitious conservation plans, including late conservationist E.O. Wilson's plan to convert half the Earth's surface to national parks, or President Joe Biden's goal of preserving 30% of U.S. land, fresh water, and ocean by 2030, is to entrench, rather than to transform, these structures of violence. However, extinction, conservation, and biodiversity are not the only frameworks that can describe, explain, and respond to the violent destruction of Earth's plural worlds and life forms. Many distinct knowledge systems, in particular those tended by indigenous, BIPOC, and majority world thinkers, offer stories and theories of extinction that better describe the role of violence, law-breaking, and the failure or refusal to maintain good relations.